This is the Inside Data Center podcast. We talk to the people who power the data center sector to give you insider info on everything happening in DC today. Here's your host, Andy Davis.
We're back at Data Cloud, back on the terrace. And here, the Inside Data Center podcast with Andy Davis.
Sunglasses on again. We were inside yesterday, complaining about the weather all day.
Really?
Back today. Need sunglasses today as well, I think.
Yeah, very much so.
And sun cream, huh?
Exactly. Sun cream. Factor 30.
Sorry, I'm Gary Watson. Thanks for having me, guys.
Pleasure.
I'm Susan Anderson, and I've just run up the stairs in these heels at very short notice. So
Susan's a late call up. Someone didn't turn up. We're not going to say who it is on
Thanks for
camera.
inviting me.
You can message me and I'll let you know.
Saved our bacon. We're glad you're here.
But he has a similar beard, right?
Yeah, similar beard.
Yeah, I've shaved it off this morning.
Likes the Gulf region.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we're going to have a bit of a general chat about the market. Obviously, Data Cloud's been crazy. I think they said 4,500 people, which seems absolutely madness, but it goes to show what this market's like at the moment. So, Gary, start with you. General view, perception of the market right now. What are you thinking?
It's certainly buoyant, that's for sure. After 30 years, I've seen these peaks and troughs, and every time you think it's going to slow down somewhat, all of a sudden it just takes off again. So, you know, it's been really good. I've been doing a fair bit of traveling this year, as you know, getting different perceptions from different regions. So, yeah, the US, booming, gigawatt campuses. Europe, trying to get the gigawatt campuses. Obviously, we've got some challenges across Europe. The Gulf, what more can I say about
I was
Gulf?
going to talk to you about golf because I know you spend a bit of time there. And
Yeah.
we haven't actually spoken to him about that region, I think, in the last few days. So it's crazy out there. The scale's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Investment flowing in. Anything particular you've seen in that region?
You know, I've seen a lot of companies looking at it, a lot coming in. There's been an awful lot of announcements going on in the Gulf with Saudi and Stargate just recently in the UAE or Abu Dhabi. There's an awful lot of people moving Microsoft, your Googles, your Amazons into the region. And what was quite interesting, I think Amazon first touched down in the Gulf in Bahrain a good few years ago. My understanding of that was, and I didn't realize that the story behind it, but it was all to do with Minecraft apparently. So, you know, the latency for Minecraft. Apparently so. Now, don't quote me on this.
Gaming
but, gaming was driving it. Yeah. So, but the Gulf, you know,
It's still like an emerging market as well.
It's been talked about that way, isn't it?
People consider it as an emerging market. When I think everywhere's a market now, isn't it? Like, is anywhere actually genuinely emerging anymore?
No.
It's just everyone's trying to catch up with each region. And go on.
No, I was going to say, it's funny you say gaming though. Like one of the big conversations we were having yesterday was around talent and actually like how would you get talking about the industry
Yeah.
to young people, and gaming was the thing, wasn't it? Roblox, in fact.
Yeah, my kids, when Roblox doesn't work, it's like the end of the world. And I was saying this, like, you know, we get frustrated when, say, like the internet won't load that quickly. Our generation's like, they're like, if it's not instant, they're absolutely fuming. Yeah, they can't understand. Whereas we give it, say, half a second. They're like, it's not working, Dad. It's not working. What do I do? That just goes to show. But it is a good marketing ploy. And from a PR perspective, obviously, in marketing, for both of you guys, like, what are you seeing generally in the market? What more can we do? Is the industry communicating better now than it was? What are you thinking?
Well, I'll let Susan say this one first.
I think so. I mean, Rory, you've got sort of first-hand experience with the PR side, but one of the benefits for our kind of industry, if you like, the creative industry, is change is always good. So there's a lot of change, and that creates excitement. And I think one of our key things is to actually communicate and articulate that excitement, that enthusiasm. I've only been in the industry for about 8 years. I've not as long as many people. But I remember coming in, we need to educate the market. We need to tell people, we need to tell the publics about it. I actually think that's now changing. I think that's actually moving. It's probably not as far as you'd like it to be, but I do hear people talking as a public about the positive elements of the data center, understanding a little bit more about how it benefits them. So I think there is a lot of excitement, and I'm hoping it's not a bubble, as somebody said yesterday.
Everything's a bubble, though, isn't it? It's just when the bubble bursts. Like all bubbles burst eventually, but I don't think this bubble is
Well,
go bursting anytime soon.
I've been riding this bubble for 30 years.
Yeah.
So,
And that's encouraging.
mind you, there has been a few pops on the way, huh?
Bubble shrunk
Bit of
a
air,
little
yeah,
bit.
bit of air coming out of it and then it gone again. So.
But all of this stuff is cyclical, right?
Yeah.
It's in the market. It's no stranger to any of that stuff, and it's critical infrastructure. Everyone depends on it, right?
Yeah.
So in many respects, even if, let's say, there's a slight burst, it'll be back again. I think for all of us in this industry, it's a really exciting time. Like there's no doubt about that, and actually, it's a really good place to be.
It is a good place. Do you guys, are you guys seeing any less cynicism about things, or are you still seeing? Because one of the things that always stays with me since I've come in is the cynicism, like, of the people in the industry. Yeah, we seen that change a little bit, or especially for the AI side of things. I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see your perspective on that.
I think I had a meeting this morning with a CEO of a developer, and we were talking. I think communication-wise, the industry's still not great. Talking internally about what it's doing, like AI. What does AI even mean? Everyone says it all the time, but what does it actually mean? Like AI is such a broad term, and that creates cynicism because people, like, if you say AI to someone, a lot straight away is negative, isn't it? Straight away it's like, oh, robots or AI is taking over the world, not the positive impact that AI is having. So, but you're seeing more new people come into the industry, which I think removes elements of the cynicism.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Because they're more broad. I don't know, and you'd have seen it over the 30 years, but the new people, the younger people, the different industry people, they've got like they see things differently to us, those that have been in it for so long, and they open your eyes a little bit, which removes elements of it. But it's still there, I think, to a degree.
Yeah, no, definitely. And when you talk to a lot of people as well, you talked about the public perception. There still is a huge disconnect between
Massively.
what our everyday life is and what a data center is. So, especially, what's going on in Ireland, but same in the UK now and everywhere else. It's like, the data centers are the power vampires or the energy vampires. But as you've just said there, your kids don't want to wait a millisecond.
No.
Right, and everybody's the same. My kids are the same. Younger kids are the same. They want it now, and they want it to be available all the time. And there's no loyalty with a brand anymore. With the new generation coming through, if they don't get it on this site, they're going to go to this site. But they can't correlate, going into hospital with a data center.
Oh,
right?
without a doubt.
Yeah. And it's that bit. And even some of the academics that I've spoken to over the past year, they're going, oh, I didn't realise data centers did that. I was like,
That's what I was talking about this morning with this individual, and saying about he has to do a lot of communication with governments and regional authorities in the area where they're developing. And he said, like, genuinely, there's like leaders in government that have no idea what a data center does or what it is.
Yep.
And you think that to me is, I always say, we're really good at talking amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
We're all in the event and bars and restaurants talking data centers for the last however long we've been here. So it feels like weeks, but 3 days. But do we talk externally enough? Probably not. And I think that's the point. It's getting your message out. Not stop talking internally in the industry. You've got to start talking externally.
well, I think we've also got to stop talking about megawatts and gigawatts and start talking about real world cases.
How much is actually being built, not how much could be built.
Yeah, and also, but talk about the use cases. So an old mentor of mine, a chap called Keith Tilley, who I think I introduced to, he always says, talk about, what our clients do, right? The hospitals, the online.
Well, that's a typical marketing
No, but
PR strategy, isn't
Without
it?
a doubt.
Yeah.
absolutely. And, all the case studies that we used to do coming up through, we'd win a customer and we'd talk about what they did and how we supported it. And I don't think we do enough talking about that. We just keep talking about AI and gigawatts and campuses, and we're going, well, actually, you know what? We're running the NHS's network, and now everything's online, and you can see your medical records, and Ireland's doing the same now, but Ireland doesn't want data centers, but yet they want everything online.
Well, this is it. It's about communicating creatively. I think that's the key thing. We're telling the right stories at the right time. The megawatts, the gigawatt campuses, that stuff's driving the news agenda because of the money that's going into it, all of the investments, the interest from governments, AI adoption, but actually making it tangible, make it interesting, making it relevant to people. And, when you talk about things like life science research or vaccine identification, something that can touch people personally, then they begin to kind of understand the role that technology plays within that. So,
100%.
The other thing I wanted to touch on, because again, I think events like this shows how many great people there are in this industry.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the people in this industry make it. But people like yourself
Mm.
cycling to Singapore.
Oh yeah.
I'll leave it there. I'll let you explain. People
Yeah,
are thinking he cycled to Singapore, but like the charity work that people like you have done, and well done for
Amazing.
doing it. It's brilliant that we do it, but we also the industry got behind you and helped
Oh,
you and pushed
100%.
it. So tell the story.
Yeah. So we had in Ireland is the young social innovators. So at the end of the junior cert and before the leaving cert, so that'd be GCSEs and A levels in the UK. They do a transition year, and then there's a young social innovator awards that goes on in Ireland. So back in October last year, I heard about what they were doing. They wanted to put in the school a cubby, which is for neurodiverse challenges. So any of the kids or any of the teachers that find themselves stemming, they could go in and relax for 5 or 15 minutes. And these are the best way I can explain these. And I'm sure they don't want me to explain it this way, but it's like a big American fridge with double doors, right? That you put yourself in. But they are really helpful. So Keppel, we put in an initial €10,000. Oh, sorry. Let's go take a step back. The team, some of them actually had autism, and I asked them to present to my management team, and that's what brought in the whole management team in Ireland.
Such an important first step.
It was brilliant, and you could see them coming out of the shells. For me, that the minute they did that, I went, right, I'm on board, right. So where do we go from there? So it took quite a while. We then put 10,000 in ourselves and said, right, okay, we've got to match it, right, because the cubby's 20,000, the school's raised 10 for the maintenance, whatever. And one of my team says, you know what, let's do a spin day. I said, right, okay. I said, that's boring, isn't it? And anyway, went home for the weekend, and I come back and went, great, got it.
Got an idea.
Got an idea. We need to raise another 10 grand. It's 11,207 kilometers to Singapore. So if we get everybody to donate €1, we'll blow the matching. And everybody's faces just dropped and said, Gary, what a crazy idea. And literally come and said, our CEO's coming over, let's get 8 spin bikes, right? Let's get T-shirts made up. And they're all going, yeah, but it's over in 2 days. I said, we can do it. So we got all this sorted, and we kicked it off with the children. The children actually came to the data centre in City West. We did all the kick-off. But one of the interesting things was I took them around the data centre as well. And the teacher was the science teacher. And we started talking about AC/DC, and she was able to talk about the UPSs and frequency changes,
No way.
which was really great. So after that, I think it was after Data Cloud, Milan, ESG, literally landed back in Dublin. There was a 12-hour cycle at the school, so straight from the airport to the school. There was music blaring. The kids, the teachers, they did about 2,000 kilometers that day. And then we just kept going all the way. And then on the last day, we had a DJ outside the data center, food. We had about 88 cyclists come that day. And to be fair, it was across everywhere. Equinix joined us, K2 joined us, the supply
It's
chain
nice,
joined
actually.
us.
The partnership.
We got everybody to come along, and it was such a fabulous day. And I was delighted to say we actually, I don't know whether to shame people into sponsoring, but I tell you what, I don't think my LinkedIn post, it's like yours, and it kept coming up and coming up and coming up.
Literally was there.
Yeah, it was
Every
there.
time I got logged in, it's like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
It must
So
be amazing.
in fairness, the brand Marquee helped me out, so they helped start.
Well, we
push
didn't
it
do
all
very
right.
much.
Yeah,
we
but
kind of-
then I got a bit impatient, and I said, let me do it.
Back.
Yeah, give me back, I'll do it.
Every agency's worst nightmare for a client. It really is. But on that, do you tell a story about? So I went on one of these bikes. I'm not really a spin bike person. I bought a mountain bike.
Oh yeah.
So I went on one of these bikes in the gym. I'm like, how are people doing this? I can't move my legs. But I was on some kind of bike that
Cross trainer.
No.
Another cross trainer.
An assault bike. Oh my goodness.
heart was racing.
Yeah, I bet it
I'm like,
was.
oh my god, the guys must be very fit.
I've hardly gone anywhere.
She sends me a picture. I said, what the hell are you doing?
I said, how many are supposed to do? Oh gosh, it was.
So, but it was
Nice.
amazing. I'd loved it. And do you know actually what I really liked about it? everybody got behind it.
Well, that's what I was saying about
Yeah.
the people. Like, I think
Yeah,
that's what
that's
this
what's
industry
wonderful.
does. Like, it takes
Yeah.
people like you to drive it, like, and
Yeah.
that's why it's important. People like you do things like that. But once I think things get going, the industry does come together. Like in communities, obviously, you know, like in the Dublin area and the island where you were doing it, but also globally. You know, you've got Keppel Data Centres in Singapore getting behind it. The industry is really good at that, and I think we could do a lot more. And there's other, you know, the guest that was meant to be on here did a cycle around.
He did.
Oh no,
actually.
so a run around the Gulf states and raising
Did he
money
really?
for
Wow.
autism.
Yeah, he did.
and
Yeah.
amazing thing. But there's so many amazing different charity events that have happened, but the industry does get behind them, which I think is just an example of the people in this industry. I
Yeah, and
think.
like you said, it's probably not enough of that inspiration there. I suppose that's probably partly our roles as well, is kind of looking at.
Well, it's doing good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Using the
yeah,
industry, using this
kind of crowd
exposure
that
we've got and this
inspiration.
growth and the capital. You know, let's be honest. There's a lot of capital in
There
this
is.
industry. Like, we've got to put some of that back into these good causes.
Yeah.
I heard yesterday, I think it's Masons and some others, but they're looking at involving the Duke of Edinburgh kids in the US. I think something like 43 million members in the US on Duke of Edinburgh. I didn't realize it was that big in the US. So they're looking at kind of driving that as an initiative for education. You know, and I think it's partly because the school's curriculum, it's difficult to kind of go into every type of university or college or whatever. But I do remember when I used to work in the cinema industry, we actually created our own curriculum module. So we did, and it was film. So it's film. So it's between 16 and 18. We produced this resource pack, where they could learn how to script a film and then produce the film, and then they went through a competition. I think there's a lot of stuff we can do like that with schools, where we go to the schools with these resource packs. Even at sort of primary age, you can kind of, how do you tell the story about something?
You've got to go young as well. Like Michael here's with his colouring book, isn't he?
I
Like,
love that
indeed.
book. Yeah,
initiatives like that are amazing.
Yeah, KO had the KO Academy as well.
Yeah. I think
literally,
that
like,
sort of stuff is definitely what's needed. And
I think my wife actually ran last year was the first one. Yeah, in Ireland, was Taught for Work. Again, about autism. Brought everybody from the industry into the school.
Oh, that was moving. I was involved.
You were
in that.
involved, yeah.
That was so moving, actually. Sorry to interrupt there. It was just one of those moments where you go into the room and Karen, who's the teacher, she phoned me the night before. She said, one of my students backed out. I said, I'm not doing it, miss. You know, like they do. I'm not doing it. He's I think he's autistic. I'm not autistic. I'm not doing it. She said, look, it'll be fine. Anyway, she said, I don't think he's going to come tomorrow. Anyway, he walks into the classroom, head down, not looking. And then everybody's kind of doing all the talks. And then he starts to see that I think he thinks we're actually quite normal people after a while, thinking, actually, you're all right.
You're all right. Yeah.
And before you knew it, he came over to us and sat on our table and started chatting and kind of discussing what he wanted to do. And I was quite touched by that, because you just don't know when you walk into an environment of stuff that you don't normally deal with every day.
And there's a lot to be said for diversity of thought. Again, we talked about it, and we could talk about that for ages as well.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I think
of
there's
course.
probably more that like events such as this could do with charity. I think
Oh,
personally, I'm
yeah,
happy to say it. I know. I think we can do a lot more for charity. But
Yeah.
on that, before we wrap up, we're all getting hot in the sunshine as well. We're on day 3, I think. Is it day 3?
Oh, I don't know what
Day
day
2
we're
and a
on
half.
anymore.
We were asking people their biggest takeaway on day 1, and they're like, I've only been here like half a day.
Yeah.
How can I have a takeaway? But yourselves, like, biggest takeaway from the event so far?
For me, it was great seeing people in the industry that I've not seen for years. So I was just saying to Rory earlier, I bumped into a guy that I brought over to Sweden back in 2000. We stayed in touch, but we've not seen each other for 10 years. And it was as if we hadn't seen each other for a week almost. You
Love
know,
that.
it was great. It was like we were just back where we were.
Proper friendship.
So shout out to Dan Joyce. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
Love him to bits. But for me, it's the connections.
The people.
All the people all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
I think I'm going to echo that. It's quite exciting being part of something that's always seems to be emerging.
Yeah.
But you've got we've got a lot of friends in the industry, and it's great working with people that you like. And it's got to be the people, the connections. I have to say, it's been amazing.
This industry definitely gets under your skin.
Yeah.
Into the world's best secret, and then once you're in,
Yeah, it's
it's
amazing.
difficult to get out.
And you could tell we've all had a lot of fun, like can't
Yeah.
talk properly.
Yeah. My voice
Sunglasses
went
on.
yesterday as well.
Sunglasses like that. I think the only thing that makes me feel a little bit sad. I shouldn't end on this, but talking to people that have been in the industry, like I bumped into Neil Creswell coming up the stairs, fabulous guy. And he said, he's the chairman now, Bertus, and he's on his way to retirement maybe. And it's like some really great people are leaving the industry
Yeah.
as well. You know, and those sort of people have got to be recognised as well for
As
what
leaving a
they've done.
legacy of
Yeah,
like,
they
great
really have
standing. Yeah,
helped this
agreed.
industry.
Yeah, we want
Yeah.
to like again. I think it's a good point to end on. Also, we need that knowledge. We need to retain that knowledge. Like,
100%.
we don't want to totally lose. Like let them go off into retirement. Obviously, they deserve it, but we got to try and retain that knowledge as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's a wrap, I think.
Yeah.
Back to the sunshine.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you for joining us. Appreciate it at
It's
short
good.
notice.
Thanks, yeah.